Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23 Lions, episode 128. It's part 2 of La Vuelta. It's stage 5 of La Vuelta, and we're already on to the base of the finishing climb of this one. And Arab has once again had a really good draw. After less than perfect start, but still a good start, Arab sits 11th and is virtually 6th in the race thus far. He's in a good position. Pace is hot. Already just 24 riders in the peloton, as we've seen a separation actually just behind us. That leaves a couple of guys hanging on at the back end of this thing. So let's get them rolling up that effort. And it's still 25k to the finish, but it's 8 kilometers. This is the kind of thing that maybe, just maybe, we can put our foot down and do something effective with. Arab is at the front and holding on. Who is the guy protecting him? Benia Messias is too far back to actually protect him. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with Arab. Let's exclude you for a moment. And let's get everybody else. Benia Messias is going to go at the tail end. He's already out of red bar and struggling. Matoni is also... Matoni is our one rider who is suffering fatigue. He was in the tour. He's a great climber at 77. He's supposed to be our best support rider, but because of going back-to-back with the tour and La Vuelta, he has not recovered effectively. He's not that fatigued. He shouldn't be having this bad of a draw, but he is getting a negative impact on his draw, and it's showing up in the worst kind of way. So we're going to put those two at the back end of the group. And just have them break off any toe of others as things go along, and use the other guys to push up, and then we'll get Arab into the mix, probably just ahead of Matoni as we go along. Okay, Hanoke lacks punch, so we'll put him next in line. Hansen also lacks punch. So De Villiers pushes. Clote, why aren't you pushing? Oh, Benuna. Benuna? Get next in line. Clote, push. There we go. And now Arab to get in line behind... Oh, look who's already... Okay. Things have changed a little bit, and we've got a number of contenders all just behind us. And then there's Matoni and Benia Messias. The other chasers have made contact, but it's a small group. They were going flat out. That's all that made it. 5, 6 riders bridged the gap. Let's actually already get these two out of the mix. They're done. Arab, Strong, Hanoke. The other guys have burnt through some red bar a little bit, but there is 6k to go. Let's go 99 with De Villiers. Give me flat out. There's 8 riders left up the road. Most of those were breakaway riders. Are the 3 breakaway riders, though? No, it's Carlos Rodriguez, Petrovic, and Arts on the attack, and then 5 breakaway riders who don't matter, but that is a small separation for them. We've got 5k to go now. Let's go just a little bit longer inside that 5k window, and then Clote take over. De Villiers dropped to the back of this thing. Already down to 33 riders now. Did put that foot down and go aggressive and bring us some forward progress. Benuna also struggling to keep up with him. Benuna already the gel 3.3. Jansen the gel, Hanoke, like none of them have red bar except for Sammy Arab. But Clote is bringing us back up to these guys. Contact made. There you go. There you go. There's the power of using your team. Okay, a little bit of red bar now remains. 1.7k. Getting squeezed here by Kramer. Come on, Arab, get back up in your position. There you go. Okay, what can we do here? 1.1k. We're going to sprint. Maximum sprint with Benuna, but can you even do that? No. down to 31. We are dropping riders, but 400 meters. Well, we just picked up the King of the Mountains jersey for the race so far for Clote. How are we downhill? 75. Banuna, there's your downhill guy right there. All right, so Banuna is going to take over the downhill duties to keep everybody else off the back. I don't know if any contenders are going to be missing from this scenario, but this is going to give us that full speed scenario and get us right to the front. And we just split off, well, for a moment, we split off 7 riders and then it became just 1 rider, but what can we do with an 82 downhill? Remember, a lot of them have big bonuses to their downhill, but here's where you can get something is Banuna making an extra push as you go over a little bit flatter section, and he's out of energy, so drop him to the back onto Janssen, who's pretty good downhill as well. And look how Carlos Rodriguez has an 84 downhill, so he's trying to attack, and it's just not working because we're pushing full gas here. Stopping Rodriguez from being able to successfully attack, though somehow he just gained 2 seconds of separation. Janssen still had the energy before we did anything. That was an 81 downhill. Try to follow the back end. Banuna is there. 2.3K starting our sprint. We did catch Carlos Rodriguez. We are setting up Sammy Arab for the final kilometer. Everyone sprinting, riding with Arab. 1K to go. Can he get on the podium? Positionally, this is really tight, but it looks like it's going to be a 4th place. Arts, Ayuso, Petrovic. Arab gets 4th. No bonus seconds. And then a small group. We set him up as well as could be, but he's just not much of a sprinter. Really strong team performance, though, as you've got 3 guys in the top 11 on the stage. And just 25 at the finish. And some definite time gaps to others. We'll see if that impacts the GC at all. Remember, there's still some riders in that top 20-25 that are not necessarily the best climbers. And some of them could have been affected in this one. Sivikov withdraws. Time losses did exist. In fact, Janssen and Carlos Rodriguez, who tried to attack the 2 riders who slipped off and lost a bike length, lost 21 seconds. So key rider Carlos Rodriguez loses time. Gregoire loses time. Decathlon loses time. Frigo, Champison, some big names. Ulrich. There's a lot of big names that lost time today. Okay, interesting. We were the ones who pulled that off. With that, position is unchanged, 9, 10, 11, but Carlos Rodriguez drops from 2nd to 6th, the one key guy losing some time there. Arts moves up 4 spots, so we did have one key rider, Decathlon, losing significant time, but Arts gains that whatever seconds for 2nd or 3rd that he was, 4+ seconds, whatever the case may be, but we're all of a sudden looking at a bit of a gap behind us anyway, and yeah, that is interesting that did work out in that way. You're not looking at major losses or anything like that, but it does stretch the field a little bit, and a couple guys, including Carlos Rodriguez, amongst those losing time today. So today is a definite victory, other than that fact that we were like that freaking close to time gains for Arab as he took 4th. But we do get the KOM, so we're going to get some bonus points for Oliver Clote today. And we actually lead the team classification now, as nobody else was able to replicate what we did there. National being Jumbo-Visma right on our heels, but then a 4-minute gap to everybody else. So could we effectively be the 3rd best team in this race? I would be pretty happy if we managed to do that as a whole unit. Final 14 kilometers here on stage number 6 as we're pulling in the last of the breakaway riders now. We still have a full peloton just about, with a few riders off the back, but otherwise with 8.5K to go. The tempo has been absurdly high, and you're seeing a full decimation of a lot of riders. In fact, the peloton just shrunk to 117. 40 riders just got dropped. as we head into the climb, and there is just 6K left in this stage. All the domestique, let's start with them and gel up right now. 85 is the tempo that I'm setting, trying to hold off and not get dropped, but the pacing, the tempo is super high, and others are going to have better resistance to that than we do, even though we are protecting riders. And you can see at 4.9K to go, already the field has thinned and thinned and thinned some more, and we are a little bit down the order just because of this crazy high tempo here. 4K. Okay, this is now go 90 type territory, and this is also now gel up for the remaining riders. Benuna, Janssen might be the only ones here to protect Arab for the final now. 3K already. Glog is 32nd and it is already out the back. Hershey, Ballerini is about to go out the back. Henok, that's fine, he's expected. Matoni is struggling. It's 2.2K somehow already. Clote. Alright, 2K. Arab is going to follow Janssen and Benuna. Benuna has just a little bit of a momentary like poof of energy, but he'll get Janssen up to speed. There you go. That's that. Now it's 1.8K, and Janssen's best on medium mountains. So Arab only a +1 today, so -1 draw compared to what was expected, and we're into this final kilometer. And Janssen's just setting us up nicely. Clote has caught us 600 meters, which means we can now make something happen. It's sprint territory for Janssen. Clote's going to help cover that. And now Arab in the final 200 meters gives his final push, where Gregoire is going to win the stage and have a couple seconds of separation. Ayuso is third, but on a weak day for Arab, he's got very little left in the tank, but he will get to the finish line without losing time, other than to Gregoire, who's not a threat GC-wise, as he's one of the best punchers in the world, but not best mountain guys. Small grouping. There's going to be time losses out there for sure. Arab was 12th on the stage with just a sliver of yellow left. Clote and Janssen helped get him there. Gregoire gets a 10-second advantage, but after 18th, we see a half-minute drop. Decathlon again losing time. Let's just see the results, huh? Let's just see what happened. So Vingegaard moves into the race lead, up 2 spots. Stalker is up to 2nd. Carlos Rodriguez is up to 3rd. Clote is up to 6th. And Arab is up to 7th. Van Eetvelt has fallen to 8th. Race leader, Martinez. Danny Martinez is now 9th. Ayuso is 10th. Pellizzari is 11th. Janssen actually also moves up. He is 12th. Benuna drops to 17th. Petrovic loses almost 2 minutes. He goes from the podium to 2 minutes down. Huge loss for him. Bad day for him. Decathlon moves up even though he struggled and lost time. Gregoire, yeah, already just 19th for him at 3:08. So again, was not worried about him going and claiming 10 seconds. Yeah. Okay, so we're up to 7th. Now, essentially, you don't have to worry about Clote. Clote's been having a good race so far, but he's only a 72 mountain base. Just been getting +5s. But Arts is a threat. Vlasov is a threat. Rodriguez, Stalker, Vingegaard are all threats. So we are, I already mentioned, 6th virtually. Well, now that's for real because Van Eetvelt we knew was a weaker Martinez. So we were actually 7th previously. I think it was Arts that jumped us last time, right? So we were 2 stages prior 6th, then we were 7th, now we're back to 6th. Ayuso has taken away the KOM jersey though, so we only wore it for a single day, but we extend our lead in the team classification, now 5 minutes instead of 4, and pulling away from both Jumbo-Visma and National Bing, who were about 30 to 40 seconds down in that category. So great start on that part, really showing our might. It's stage 8, and it's the first one that we are going to go ahead and run that risk to speed up time. We are going to quick sim this one to play that one out. Wouldn't amount to much. quick sim is going to change the standings a bit more than it would otherwise, but we don't have time to run every single one of these stages. Arab loses a minute 50 to Gruel? Breakaway rider, okay. But then it's a minute to Ayuso, so a huge stage for Ayuso and Gregoire, really? But that's 40 seconds to those guys. So now Ayuso jumps from 10th to 1st, a second ahead of Carlos Rodriguez. Vingegaard drops back to 3rd once again. Arab stays 7th. Van Eetvelt moves back ahead of him. Klote drops to 9th. Janssen stays 12th. Overall, other than Klote losing time, no big losses. In the points, it's Delay. In the mountains, it's Ayuso. Klote is still 3rd. No change in those standings at all near the top. Arts moves up to 1st. Arab moves up to 3rd. And Klote is 3rd with Janssen 5th in the young riders. And we are still on top of the team classification, though we did lose time to all of the closest competitors. More than a week into the tour now. So we do another check-in on our hope of staying in Continental Pro and keeping the series alive, as we are just above the bubble. One spot above the bubble. We're in the same spot we were. The 3 riders that were left was 2 flat-rated guys and 1 mid-tier sprinter with a 78-79, so really not good enough to actually do anything. Explains why they remain unsigned. But having leveled up a 19-year-old with a 79 mountain, you figure he's going to get signed here real soon. But there's now 4 5-star riders instead of 3 5-star riders remaining. But as for the 4.5-star guys, well, their list really hasn't thinned down at all. It's about where it was. So over the last week, there seems to have been little to no signings happening amongst the at least remaining top-tier riders. All right, so we are on the Queen stage. It's the Tourmalet. This is going to be the one that does the most to decide what the standings are going to look like. Matoni on a -5 means he is not going to be reliable today. Benio Messias is, but he's a weak rider to begin with, so who do you end up protecting? Normally it would be Janssen of late, but I don't know, 75? Is that still him? But Nuna is definitely not there in the standings. Benio Messias, I guess, is going to be the other guy, but yeah, we're going to have to protect Janssen. So 2 choices are obvious. Klote still in the top 10 and +5 daily. That's his expected. But Arab does get a +5 today. Oh, he looks so strong, but the support is going to be so inferior. Hanouk. Is Hanouk still the guy? I guess Benio Messias is. Yeah. That's our leadership for today. There's a good size breakaway with 18 riders off the front. Einer Rubio, Storer, Frigo, Ulrich, Fortunato, Pere Penter, number of quality riders, strong climbers, stronger than everyone on our team but Arab for that matter, and some of them certainly at Arab's level. The good news for us is that there was really only one elite climber at this Tour de France, Vingegaard. 83 base, 87 with the difficulty bonus, and then whatever race day condition he has puts him significantly above. But Arab, with a +5, does have an 84 today, so that is up there in the elite category, but this is an insanely hard stage. 85 stamina is going to help him immensely. How much team support can we give him? Well, the first climb already down to 8 kilometers, and I wouldn't be surprised if the 144 in the peloton is less than 144 by the time we hit the top. But as we go inside 6K, pace hasn't been too bad, but there could be some really, really weak climbers that do end up getting dropped. One of the breakaway riders, 2 of the breakaway, 3, 4, 5, 6, a lot of breakaway riders getting dropped before, well, they do the attack, right? But there's at least a good few of them that did not make it over the top of that. But our entire team gets over the top, and we'll go into recovery, and we need to get somebody to get water before things get crazy. So De Villiers do that now. Did he? No, he didn't. He's still going back to get water. That was so deceiving, but he'll do it with relative ease here. All right, preparing for the next one. Matoni on a -5 today. Ridiculous. His fatigue levels are not that high. They're not that high. He getting -4s and 5s every day is not the draw that he is supposed to be getting, but it's what happened with Samuels on the last one. So setting a 78 this time. 12K to go to the top. We've got to watch our position. How are we doing on the fade? Here we go. A Jumbo Visma rider. Jorgensen, not Mateo. 64 Mountain. He's out the back. And there we go. Now the numbers are starting to increase and drop rather rapidly. Here comes another 8 to 10 to 15, 20 riders out the back, down to 116. Okay, here's what we got to watch out for. Still 4.5K to go. Matoni, goodbye. De Villiers, goodbye. Janssen, hold it. Okay, Janssen, 4K to go and struggling at the back. You got to go all in, buddy. Give me a better climbing ratio to hang on. 101 left. He and Janssen might just make it. Clote might just make it. Clote's going to have to also ride a little harder, but all three of them. Arab's doing okay, but not great. But he will make it to the top on his own. These three, we're going to gel to hope that they hang on. If Arab's got any chance today, he's got to have some team support. All three of them going on their own, trying to make it. 1 kilometer from the top. Clote, Benny, and Messias, all three of them go auto. All three of them are dropped, but they're all in the secondary group that's 30 seconds behind and has a very good chance of getting back up there well before the climb, but it's about recovery. Now, checking back in on what's going on at the front. Padoon, Zimmerman, Mignot. Just decent climbers that got dropped. Guys that are almost Arab's level, but got dropped by the main group at the front. Ulrich, Storer, Frigo, Van Hoek, and Iron Rubio, the strongest guy, leading the way. So 4 left at the front. Handful in between. Arab doing okay. Janssen got dropped further. I'd love to see this group. It's thinned. It's thinned a lot. Clote is... It's kind of looking like the Peloton of 32 is the Peloton of 32. And we have got to now do what we can to help. So micromanage. Pace lifted a bit. Front 4 are actually pulling away a little, so this is a good additional. Finish that recovery time. Good. Okay, back to full strength. 35 chasing 4. Clote is in the chase group. Benny and Messias in a further one that's too far behind. Clote, who's with him? Holjovic. Wells is 19th at 341. None of them are a threat, so I'd love to see Clote get back in contact and give us at least some support, because this is 35 riders. It is not a small group, and Arab having to go solo for this climb, I don't care that he's got a +5. I don't care that he's got 84 Mountain. He's just not going to do it alone. Not on the difficulty, not with the bonuses that everybody else has. He will get dropped. He will not make it anywhere near at the front of this one. He's already losing energy, right? If he had Clote to protect him, he'd be fine. And these guys are losing ground. Clote, attack. Leave this group behind. Front group splitting up before the base of the climb just took away any chance they had. It's 2 minutes. He's almost caught Gloag, but the gap grew. So Arab really is on his own. We're gonna have to manage this as carefully as possible. It's 24K, and we're about to head up the Tourmalet. Insanely hard climb, and doing it with less than full energy capacity, all because he's riding solo. top four back together, but they're only 49 seconds ahead. $17K to go, but we did get a little more energy for the climb to come. But look at the tempo now. Drifted back to conserve, to save, to restore. Front group down to one rider. I'm guessing it's Ina Rubio. No, it's Frigo. Rubio had to do too much of the work. 10K to go. 30 riders left. 29 riders left. That was out of 39 if you count the front four. Down in 24. Excuse me. So 15 riders have been dropped. And here goes the favorites. And Arab does not have the firepower to go with them. Had we had support, I would have been able to comfortably go with those guys. But with 6K to go, he's already almost done. There's now just 6 chasing those front 9. Gel, 5K. Come on, Arab, hang on to those 3 if you can. It's now just 5. We lost contact with them, but we're coming back together. Can you make contact with those 8? You can. Good. Okay, so now it's 9 chasing 4. The scenario just got a whole lot better, except that we have 4K to go and 0 energy. So another acceleration comes from Vingegaard chasing down the front 4. Gregoire, what the hell? He's got plus 10 billion? Gosh, we just got water 30K ago and we're out again. Thirsty day. Thirsty. Out the back. Out the back. Riders did get dropped though, so it's not just... Every acceleration sees him just instantly run out. 500 meters. Pellizzari, we're going to lose just a little time, but what this could have been, especially being solo for half the stage. Pellizzari, Rodriguez, Vlasov, Vingegaard, Stalker, Gregoire, Vine, not a threat, Roner, Martinez, 13th on the stage. There's Decathlon, Van der Becken. Not great, though. Definitely not what you would want from the stage, but from the ugliness that could have been. I mean, we could have lost 6 minutes today so easily. A little bit of loss at the finish line. I don't know what those times are going to be like, but like Janssen was 12th overall and is now going to struggle to get towards the finish line 12.5 minutes behind. Clote, I think, was 9th. He also lost a ton of time. So some of those guys were guys that were well down. Most of those were the challengers in the top 10. I mean, it was probably 9 of the 10 top 10 riders, and most of them finished 30 seconds ahead of Arab. Good news is it could have been so much worse than it was. 2:13. Holy crap, that was a much bigger gap than I thought it was. In the final 500 meters, we lost 2 minutes. How did he lose that much time in that short stretch? Jeez. Well, okay. I mean, the gaps were huge elsewhere. I'm just surprised by our gap. So Arab drops to 9th, 2:19 down. Rodriguez moves into the race lead. Pellizzari jumps to 2nd place from 10th. Vingegaard stays 3rd. He's been hovering around 3rd the whole time. Vlasov. Ayuso drops from the lead to 5th place, 44 seconds behind. He was the next rider ahead of us. Van Eetvelt, Martinez, Petrovic, up 3 spots. Arab drops to 9th. And yeah, Janssen and Clote drop a billion spots. That hurt more than I thought. I thought we were right there. I thought he lost 40 to 50 seconds. Maybe a minute tops, but certainly not 2+. 2nd in the young riders classification, and we dropped to 4th as a team. 23 minutes I mean, we lost a ton of time today. Gosh. And that all came down to Arab being solo, right? The other guys that were with him lost contact right at the top of the middle climb. Right at the top. Right at the top. But we never saw any one of them again. That close. That close to having 3 support riders to then being solo. And it cost Arab 2 minutes. Because by the time we even hit the base of the climb, he was already down on energy quite a bit. And we conserved so well, but he was never going to make that climb solo. 19K, 7.5% is just too much to ask, and the AI has too many bonuses. Too many bonuses to overcome that. All because 3 guys couldn't make it 100 meters. And then all because 1 guy couldn't make it 500 meters. Like, that's how close it was to having the support to setting Arab up for success. To then Arab still being that close. And that's still the result. Still the result. I mean, huge time losses there. Crazy. Absolute craziness. That's the Queen stage, though. It's the hardest one behind us. From here, it's uphill. We're still in the top 10. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.